DeVonta Smith will join us in moments. Excited to talk to DeVonta. Maybe he can spare a couple bucks after that extension. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you.
A few million for each of us?
Yeah, he has enough to spare.
Come on, man. What do you need $50 million for?
I tell you, dude. And this is another sign of Howie being smart and ahead of the curve. He got DeVonta done early, and then the domino effect happened with all the other receivers around the league now. So you're starting to see where DeVonta's contract sort of set the bar, and then now the rest of the guys are going.
Speaking of the man, there he is, DeVonta Smith. Thanks for joining us today, friend.
Appreciate you having me.
What up, Smitty?
So the celebrity softball game, June 29th at Coca-Cola Park in Allentown, which is where the Iron Pigs play, the home run derby, and then the game. You can go to DeVontaSmithSoftball.com for tickets. Are you good? Are you a good softball player?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm solid.
So let me ask you this, DeVonta, because I remember you did this your first year, man, and it seemed like it's gotten bigger each year. So to have something in the offseason, right, where you can have all of your NFL brothers, your former Alabama brothers, college friends, or what have you, come together for a celebrity event. What made you choose softball, right? You could either have a basketball, you could do bowling. Why softball for you?
Well, one, it's probably the hardest sport to play.
Oh, okay.
So, bring out, see who the real athletes are.
Speaking of real athletes, there was a thing going around because Austin Rivers said that he could drop 40 NBA players into the NFL and they could play. So what do you think is more likely? That you could find 40 NFL players to play in the NBA or 40 NBA players to play in the NFL?
I don't think you can find 40 of neither, but I think you'll find more NFL players to play basketball than NBA to play football.
Okay. Yeah. We've heard Cooper DeJean's pretty good. We'd like to see you and him maybe one-on-one. Can you beat him?
Yeah, I love my chances.
So Smitty, we already know, like, basketball is the sport that a lot of us, and this is why I agree with him, because a lot of us as football players, we all played basketball. I don't know how many basketball players played football, but a lot of the football players played basketball, if you can follow what I'm saying here. And I'm wondering, you sort of held the title as the best on the team as the basketball player. I've seen some of Cooper's highlights, man. You sure that title is still safe with you as the number one basketball player on the team?
Yeah, I'm in good hands.
Okay.
We're going to put it on pay-per-view. We're going to line that up, you versus him. So, a lot of changes for the team, at least coaching staff-wise, with the Eagles this year. Kellen Moore's a new offensive coordinator. How do you think the offense is different this year, and how do you think your role might change within that offense?
Anytime you switch coordinators, the offense is going to be different. Everybody has their own philosophy, the way they do things and things like that. Not to dive too deep into things, but the way that he views things is slightly different from the way that we did things, to where the ball is going to, what are we reading, and things like that. So he's bringing his own thing over, but I think it's going to be a good year. I'm excited, ready for it.
I tell you, speaking of excitement, man, this fan base was excited to see that you had been extended this offseason and you're going to be here for the foreseeable future as an Eagle. I don't know how many people were literally worried about that, but when you think about, I guess, the amount of talent on this offensive side of the ball, the price tag at your position that's going up around the league, and guys, I guess, seemingly whether you want to be a number one guy or a 1B guy, however you want to sort of phrase it, sometimes that can lead guys to want to go somewhere else so that they can have their own shot. So this is a long way around to asking you why it was important for you to remain here and sign an extension here and being an Eagle here and not necessarily looking to go somewhere else for more money or anything else. Why was it important for you to secure your future here?
I think the main thing is I feel like I'm in one of the top tier organizations. Howie, Mr. Leary, they take care of us. Anytime you're in the building, you feel like your family. You don't feel like you're just going to work. You're actually, having fun when you're in the building. It's not just go to work and then just go home. You enjoy being around those guys. and the relationships I've built in the city. I mean, I wouldn't want to be nowhere else.
Mm-hmm. Seems like you and AJ have formed this brotherhood there at that position, and you guys are great at complementing each other as far as the style of play, your personalities, and everything else. What's that like, and how much did that play into you wanting to be here and having a chance to play alongside AJ and continue that sort of dynamic duo?
It played a big part. Having a guy like that around you, a guy that's been there for a while. A guy that has different play style from you, someone that you can learn from, that plays the game differently from you. Little nuggets that you can get here and there from him, and then ultimately, just being around somebody that you can relate to. That, you're in it for the same thing. The work ethic he has, he makes everyone around him better, and that's what you truly want as a player, somebody around you that makes you better.
Man, this is one of the things I've come to admire about you, and I'm saying this to you because this is the first time we've had you on the show. But I've talked about this and pertaining to you throughout your careers, and we've gotten to know you throughout the 3 years of you being here. There is a humbleness to you there, but there's also a level of confidence and quiet confidence there that you play with a swagger, but you're not as boisterous or voiceful. And I'm just wondering. What goes into that for you as far as your personality trait that allows you to still compete and consider yourself at that high level, but at the same time, you don't necessarily feel the need to tell everybody how great you are as a player? Like, what goes into your mindset and allows you to sort of operate that way?
I think to start with me preparing the way I prepare, it has me very confident in myself. I feel like when you prepare very well, you're very confident in the things that you do, and you believe a lot in yourself. I think that's me. And then just competing, that's with anything I do. I feel like playing a lot of sports allowed me to be able to have that competitive nature and allowed me to, be able to go out there and just be myself.
We're talking to Eagles wide receiver DeVonta Smith. So, obviously last year ends in a way that nobody was happy with, from the team to the fans. We've sort of noticed that the fans are excited for this year and over last year. So I guess my two-part question to you is, do you think you are past what happened at the end of last year? And did you learn any lessons from the way last year ended that you can put into this year?
Yeah, I'm past it for sure. I wouldn't say last year taught me this, but just playing sports in general, things can go left quick. You got to continue doing the things that you're doing the right way. Like I say, the game changes every week. Weekly, the game changes. Daily, the game changes. So you can't just sit out there and just rely on what happened the day before or the last game. Every week you have to go out there prepared and playing your best.
Who would you say are the leaders on the Eagles team?
I think everyone leads certain ways. Of course, you have Jalen, AJ, Lane, Landon. You have those guys, but I feel like everyone leads in a certain way. I feel like everyone brings someone on the team along with them, whether it's somebody they're very close with, or somebody that they don't necessarily talk to. I think it just comes down to everybody identifying the way that they lead, because everyone leads differently. You're not going to get somebody that's going to be a rah-rah guy and just going to always be, talking loud to lead people. You're going to have guys that just go out there and, just show the way to do things.
We look at this offense, DeVonta, and quite frankly, this could be, from on the paper standpoint, at least right now, it's probably the most talented Eagles offense we've had around here in a very long time. I don't think anybody would argue that. When you look at the offense, man, how do you view it? And what are some of your thoughts? I mean, you got Saquon, Barkley here. We haven't even asked you about Saquon being a part of the offense. When you look at the offense, ball distribution, any concern about that? How do you sort of view the offense sort of operating this year with so many weapons to sort of get the football to?
I think it's going to be fine. The ball is going to find who it's supposed to find. You can't really – certain ways you can determine who the ball goes to, but majority of the time it's, based off coverages and things like that. So, the ball is going to find who it's supposed to find. I think it's, plenty of attempts for everybody, and we're excited for it.
Talking to DeVonta Smith, Eagles wide receiver. So Saquon Barkley is going to be at the softball game, it looks like. What do you feel? He's an incredible player, dynamic runner. What do you think is going to be the biggest asset to the offense? What is the biggest thing he's going to bring?
I would say another guy that's a leader. He's going to bring that leadership quality. Someone that been knowing him for a while. A guy that comes in every day. He knows the task at hand, and he wants everyone to get better. And he harps on that. And I think that's going to be a big part of it.
Well, we're excited for the softball game, and you didn't talk yourself up that much, but I can hear it in your voice that you know that you're good. Do you have?
Who's the best softball player on the team?
Yeah, and who's the favorite for the home? There's a home run derby. Who's the home run derby favorite? Who's the best, and who's the home run derby favorite?
AJ probably gonna win the home run. He's probably the best too. It's probably out of him, me, or Jake are probably the best, but probably AJ, no doubt, probably.
You saying Jake Elliott?
Yeah, Jake do everything.
So we did this, DeVonta, last week. We did the top 11 athletes in the city. Your spot was safe and secured on the list, I think somewhere between 8 or 9 or somewhere around there. But Jake Elliott was a guy, because you just brought up Jake, he was a guy that was discussed a lot as should be on that list. Do you sort of view Jake Elliott as one of those top athletes in the city? Is he not getting enough credit as an athlete because he's a kicker?
I would say definitely he's not getting credit as an athlete because he's a kicker, but he's probably one of the most, athletic guys it is. I haven't found anything that Jake can't do.
One last thing, DeVonta. There's mini camp going on right now, voluntary mini camp, which you're talking to us. You're not there. Is there what goes into deciding which of the voluntary ones you go to and which ones you don't?
Can you say it again? You started breaking up.
I'm sorry. The voluntary practice is going on for the Eagles right now. Obviously, you're talking to us. You're not there. What goes into deciding which one of those are important for you to be at and which ones aren't?
For me, around this time. Yes, it's a team thing and things like that, but it's also a time for guys, to focus on themselves, better themselves, work on the things they need to work on. And, I spoke with Nick and them about it, and I feel like for me to work on myself, it was best for me to be where I am and do my work down here. And, they agree with me. They didn't have a problem with it. I stepped in a few days here and there. But overall, I was somewhere else training because I felt that's what was best for me, myself.
Well, the DeVonta Smith Celebrity Softball Game, June 29th, Coca-Cola Park in Allentown. There are tickets at DeVontaSmithSoftball.com and meet and greet tickets as well. So we're going to keep a keen eye on your softball skills and your prediction for A.J. Brown. Yeah. And thanks for coming on the show today.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah. Smitty is we probably got more out of him than I was expecting to get out of him.
Yeah.
He's never been one for a lot of words, usually straight to the point. So that was pretty cool that he felt at least relaxed in the atmosphere to be able to give us a little more.
And no place he'd rather be than Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
And the Eagles, who gave him $50 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
He was saying, feels like family. My family's never handed over $50 million.